everyone, welcome to the latest episode of your favorite show Z Connect. This is me Priya and I hope your day has been fantastic so far. If not, then worry not because we have lined up some super duper stories for you to lift your mood up and help you brave the Monday blues instantly. So if you are ready, let's begin. The high-octane trailer of the recently released Bollywood movie Bawaal was launched in Dubai last week at the iconic Queen Elizabeth II floating hotel. Team Bawaal, including actors Varun, Dhawan and Janhvi Kapoor, director Nitesh Tiwari and producer Nadiadwala eloquently expressed their excitement at the unveiling of the trailer and interacted with media from across the globe. Join us for this grand event up next. Alright, so sitting here with the cast and crew of Bawaal and it's amazing that you all decided to launch the trailer here in Dubai. पहले तो मुझे ये पूछना है कि आपने ट्रेलर दुबई में लॉन्च करने का क्यों सोचा?
आप लखनऊ से दुबई आ सकती है तो हम क्यों नहीं आ सकते?
मैं दुबई में ही रहती हूँ।
हाँ बट आप है तो लखनऊ की ना? तो
हूँ लखनऊ।
हाँ तो फिर तो नीतीश सर भी मतलब कानपुर की है।
कानपुर।
तो आप आगे तो हम भी आगे।
आप आगे लेकिन दुबई क्यों?
आपके पीछे।
अच्छा हमारे पीछे
क्योंकि जानवी को आपके साथ एक रील बनाना था।
बनाना तो पड़ेगा।
नहीं बनाएंगे 100%।
अच्छा टेल मी, आप दोनों एक साथ पहली बार आए हैं तो किसने किसकी लाइफ में ज़्यादा बवाल मचाया?
Say me.
I think जानवी ने definitely.
Yeah. Say why?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, say.
No, we want to know why. Come on, see, you don't answer.
After the film, I think film देखने के बाद क्योंकि जिस तरीके से इंटेंसिटी से जानवी ने परफॉर्म किया है फिल्म में तो डेफिनेटली बवाल मचेगा।
आपकी लाइफ में क्या बवाल?
लाइफ वो देख के मेरी लाइफ में मच गई।
What बवाल do you think it has created for you, Janhvi?
I don't think he has ever met someone who he thinks is so intense and serious, and he's taken it upon himself to make me more commercial, I think.
I'm not taking it. I'm not taking
Right,
it.
but you both are working with Nitesh for the first time. How was that experience?
Mind blowing. I think one of the best experiences of my life, and very happy with the outcome as well. And the reason why we chose Dubai or chose this is the global trailer launch, because we have people from all around the world who came here to see the trailer and report on the trailer, was because this is truly a global film. We really feel it will reach out to many other countries and many other nationalities as well.
Right.
And because it speaks a very universal language, the film.
Right. Sajid, coming to you, this is going to be a movie which will kind of break the barriers of geographies and reach millions of audiences at the same time. Do you think that makes this movie a little more special for you?
Yeah, it's my first film actually on digital.
Yeah.
This has come around a decade, about 7-8 years, but I've refrained from doing it. But I'm so happy with this opportunity because I know while making films for 40 years, so many films of ours, then many people in the world didn't see it.
Yeah.
You know, they were so beautiful films. But today, I'm so thankful with a lot of gratitude that God has given me this day to express my films to all over the world on the same day.
Right.
You know, this opportunity that I'm there in this part of life, that I can make a film which is edgy, but tell the world at the same time.
At the same time, so many people. Right. Nitesh, coming to you, you've always created films which have a strong message, whether it came to Dangal or it was about Chichore. What is the message you think people will go back home after watching Bawaal?
Bawaal is a multi-layered film, you know. Also, I do not want to let it out, you know, but because a part of it is there,
Yeah.
in the trailer, that is one strong takeout, which is जो अपने पास है उससे खुश नहीं है, जो दूसरे के पास है वो चाहिए.
Yeah.
Also plays an important role in the film. So that would
So
be one of
war
the
within
message.
people, a
It
battle
is the
between
how do you win the war within, and there are so many aspects of the war.
Yeah.
So many of them.
Right.
So yes, it's got multiple things happening in the film.
Yeah. Which you don't want to reveal yet. I
Not yet.
understand. Right. So Janhvi and Varun, tell me. Okay. अब थोड़ा behind the scenes के बारे में
BTS
बताओ.
के बारे में.
हाँ. Shoot किया है इतने सारे locations पे. You all have travelled together. Is she a good travel buddy?
I think I'm the best travel buddy, Varun.
She actually took a lot of care
Yeah.
of me when I was very unwell.
When you
She
were
was a
not
nurse.
getting food, she would
Yeah,
make
she
sure
went-
you get hot soup.
She got she got me correct.
And omelette also.
And omelette as well. Yeah, that's true.
See?
And
Yeah.
when we were in a lounge that was full. We were very tired. It was a long layover. We found some khopcha in the middle of some lounge, and we got some cushions, and we were sleeping on the floor of the lounge. I think.
But
was
when
it?
you woke up, where did you see me sleeping?
Yeah. Then he went on the couch without waking me up. He left me on the
You were
floor.
sleeping.
So she is definitely a good travel
She's
buddy.
very-
Are
very
you?
helpful.
You think he's a good travel buddy?
Yeah, in fact, yesterday we were on the flight and the flight got a little turbulent, and I've developed a recent fear with turbulence, and so I was palpitating and getting very anxious, and his hand came in handy, and I almost broke it because I was so nervous, but he was very comforting.
Really?
Yeah.
You're nice, huh? You can be nice.
Nice.
sometimes.
What do I say? What do I say that?
Right.
Please.
Okay, great. I've already been shown the signal, so we have only so much time. लेकिन जाने से पहले CI side आपको कुछ तो mimicry.
कुछ तो करनी
You
पड़ेगी,
do.
कुछ तो
You do. Anil ji's
Anil-
mimicry.
oh yeah, very well.
Oh
she does.
God.
And you also
But
do.
but she does it very, very, very well.
अच्छा लग रहा है ना? काफी चिज़ल है। खाने में क्या है? खाने में क्या है? मेरा मामा डाल सुनीता बोल रहा है। दे देना एक कबाब। वो कोई देख नहीं रहा है। You know, maintain this jawline.
I love that. You do your dad's mimicry very
No,
well.
I do a lot of people's mimicry, but I think in this film I've not done any mimicry, and how Janhvi is being regarded as an intense actor, even I want to be. So I'm going to be
You
intense.
can't be.
But I want to be.
You
in
are
this.
an intense
it's
actor, but in
but I have
person
to,
you're not,
But I
you're
have to
just so
try.
much fun.
I have to try, somewhere. So I think we'll end it on her great mimicry.
All right. Okay, thank you so much, guys,
Thank
for talking to us. We want just one bite from you for the camera. Why people in Dubai should watch Bawaal.
Because it's an amazing film. It's just a
Okay.
great film.
Super.
Please give our film Bawaal lots of love.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We've got lots more coming up on the show. Stay tuned. We'll be back after a short break. Welcome back. Well, there are a couple of Hindi songs dedicated to Munni, but do you remember Remo Fernandes's OG Munni song from the 90s that made you groove to its tune? He is one of the pioneers of indie pop in India, and the kind of love he receives for his music to date is something incredible. We had an exclusive conversation with the musical maestro from Goa. Stay tuned to know about his journey, inspiration and life. Hello Remo, welcome to Z Connect, welcome to Dubai.
Thank you so much.
Such a pleasure to have you on the show with us.
All the pleasure's all mine.
So let's start by knowing your early life. Tell us about that and your influences.
I would say that the first influences were of Portuguese music because I was born during the Portuguese days, as we call them, before Goa was liberated by India and it was a Portuguese colony. So I grew up to a lot of Portuguese music, and the Portuguese brought with them Brazilian music and Latin music. So that is all that we used to hear on the radio. Hardly any English, no English songs in fact. And it's only after the Portuguese left that slowly there was, and of course Goan music.
Correct.
It's only after the Portuguese left that English music slowly started coming into Goa, and the strange new language, which we didn't understand. And
Right. So Hamma Hamma had a huge reach, like massive, and suddenly the entire country started knowing you. So do you think that Bollywood music has a far wider reach than any other platforms in the country?
I beg to differ here because I think I became known in Bollywood, with Jalwa.
Oh, with Jalwa. Yeah, yeah.
And Jalwa was quite a few years before Hamma. And Jalwa had another kind of impact on Bollywood also. It was revolutionary in the sense that that style of music had never been done in Bollywood.
Correct.
The whole song was one big improvisation with only one line in between, which said "Dekho dekho ye hai Jalwa." That's it, and everything else was improvising and scatting. It was a 15-minute long piece of music, and that had never been done in Hindi. So I think that's where I became known in Bollywood first. During a very limited period of time, there was a pop and rock revolution in India. When the pop music and rock music, started being created in India, and it became known by Indian audiences. And at that time, there was a distinct division between Bollywood on one side and the pop and rock scene on the other. And in the pop and rock scene, there were artists like me. There was Alisha Chinay, there was Lucky Ali, there was Silk Route, and there were all of us who had our own style, our own sound. And it was very different from Bollywood. But then what happened is that Bollywood saw that the pop and rock scene had a lot of originality, whereas Bollywood music was all beginning to sound the same at that time. And most of it was straight copies from American and English songs anyway.
Correct.
So they started recruiting pop and rock musicians to compose for Bollywood. I composed and I sang for Bollywood the odd song, but I never went full-time into Bollywood. But a lot of pop and rock musicians did that. And then the division within the two slowly blurred out, and it became, there was no more pop and rock scene in India, individual music scene.
So a lot of old songs have been remixed and revamped. Some of the most iconic songs have been remixed. So what is your take on remixes, and is there any artist from India in the recent years that you love listening to?
Your first question first. I feel that the recreation, as you call it, the remix of the older songs, to me it just shows one thing, lack of originality.
True.
So the new musicians or the new music directors who are not able to create a new hit song, they will ride on the fame of the old hit song, and they just put a disco beat to it, or a rap beat to it, or a techno beat to it, and that's it.
So Remo, you were more like this activist singer, composer who would create songs on the socio-economic political situation in the country. What inspired you to do that?
What inspired me was life around me. I could see things happening. Whether it was corruption, whether it was communalism, whether it was exploitation of women. I've written about all these topics and more, because I just saw it happening all around me. And as a human being, you wake up in the morning and you read the news, or you see something happening. You don't go around talking about parties.
True.
You talk about those things because they have affected you.
Correct.
But when it comes to making music, you make a song saying, I love you, you love me, let's go to the disco tonight. No, if you are a musician, all those things which have affected you in the day, they come out in your song.
True.
And that's all, that happened. And as far as being scared is concerned, I think I was smart enough never to accuse any one person, any one authority, any one politician. I wrote against corruption per se. I wrote against communalism per se. So if any politician took offense to it, he would be admitting that he's the one who's corrupt. In fact, they were scared. They were scared to admit or to take offense at my songs.
So Remo, over the years, do you think the music scenario has changed, and are there any positives that you can pinpoint?
Frankly, I have not been following very closely, or even at quite a distance, what is happening in the new music. I guess I've been too busy making my own music, which is very, very far from Bollywood. I just write my own songs as and when I feel like them. And as I have always been, I'm basically a singer-songwriter who writes songs about personal experiences.
Yeah.
And I write them in English because that's the language in which I can express myself best.
Super.
My Hindi is almost non-existent. Pyar to hona hi tha. You know? Superb Hindi. And yeah, I've written an opera, for example, about the life and work of Mother Teresa. So it's very far removed from what's happening in India or in Bollywood, especially in Bollywood. So I would be the wrong person to comment on that.
Okay, Remo, I'm going to state a few words and you just tell me your memories attached to these words, okay?
Okay, I'll try.
So, starting with Eloy Gomes.
Eloy Gomez was the best guitarist in Goa when I was a kid. He was a guy to whom I really looked up, and when my father tried to get me to study music, as in solfeggio, reading and writing music, and he saw that I hated it and I didn't want to study music, that way. I just loved playing by ear. As a final resort, he went to Eloy Gomez, and Eloy was a guitarist. I told you he was the best guitarist in Goa, but he also didn't know how to read and write music. He played also by ear. So my father probably thought that he was the right guy who might be able to teach me. So Eloy asked me to take my instrument, which was at that time a banjo, a small little kid's banjo, and to play.
Yes.
And he asked me to sing a song, another song, and a third song. And then he gave my father advice which I loved. He said, this kid, you just buy him a guitar and put it in his hands, and he will learn it on his own, just like I did. You don't assign a teacher to him. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. And luckily for me, my father followed that advice. So Eloy Gomez is always a lovely memory as far as that's concerned.
So, Billy the Kid and his Rangers.
Oh my God. That was my favorite cowboy. My first ambition in life was to be a cowboy. And when I was a kid, and Billy the Kid was my favorite cowboy hero. At that time, we just knew him as a cowboy hero. We didn't know the real story of Billy the Kid.
Yeah.
That he was a bank robber, that he was a murderer. All that we came to know later. Billy the Kid was a hero in a comic strip.
Yeah.
And he wore black, and he wore a black mask. And so when I formed my first group, I didn't really form it. My father formed it for me by going around Panjim and gathering 4 or 5 kids or 6 kids who also played and sang. So he would collect them from their homes after getting their parents' permissions and bring them over and have a rehearsal, which he would in fact conduct. And my mother would make high tea for everybody. And then after that, my father would drop each one home. So that group, I wanted us to be cowboys on stage. So I called it, and I was supposed to be leader. So I wanted to be Billy the Kid. So I called it Billy the Kid and his Rangers. Yeah.
Right. Letter from the Prime Minister?
Rajiv Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi came down to Goa to inaugurate the MPT or something, which is the Mormugaon Port Trust. And the Goa government asked me to sing for him together with other artists. But they knew my reputation for always being outspoken in front of the in front of the highest authorities. So they warned me, please don't sing anything that will offend Rajiv Gandhi. I promised them. And I sang a song which I had written called Hello Rajiv Gandhi, in which I invite him to come to Goa, not only once a year, but please, if you can, come every month. I'm not asking you out of love and out of affection. That's not the reason why I'm asking you to come to Goa. Please come every month, so that every month when you come down, the Goa government finally repairs our roads.
Wow.
And repairs our buildings and does up Goa. Now that did not offend Rajiv Gandhi, right? My promise was not to offend Rajiv Gandhi. It offended the Goa government. I didn't promise them not to offend the Goa government. So there was one particular editor who, I'm sure he was paid or commissioned to attack me. Every morning he would write things against me after that, saying that I was portraying a bad light, a bad aspect of Goan culture. Culture is such an abstract word, so it's easy for him, who was a North Indian, to suddenly become an authority on Goan culture. So when I saw that he was attacking me every day, and I had seen him in destroying the reputation of Goan politicians, he destroyed their reputation so badly that their careers were over. So I saw him trying to do something like that to me. So I took the cuttings and I just posted them to the Prime Minister of India, New Delhi. I didn't think that the letter would reach Rajiv, but and I asked him whether if my song had really offended him, and that this is what the newspaper here in this particular newspaper is saying here in Goa. I was amazed. 2 weeks later, there was a letter with the seal of the Prime Minister of India lying at my doorstep, and Rajiv's beautiful letter saying, "Dear Remo, Sonia and I enjoyed your performance in your song. There was nothing that offended us, and that's it. As long as you're true to your art, just don't bother about criticism. There will be lots throughout your career." And that letter, it was the first time that a prime minister had written to a pop musician. Until then, pop music and pop musicians were not even acknowledged by the government of India. The only music that was acknowledged as worthy of being called Indian music was classical music or folk music. Those are the only troops that were sent out for international festivals, for example. Certainly not pop musicians. So this young, dynamic, Prime Minister writing to a pop star is something that appealed to the press all around India. And even the press that had not carried the controversy. The controversy was a small thing only in Goa on that one rag or that one newspaper. But this letter was carried by the press all over India, because they loved it. They loved this whole situation. And so without wanting to do it, this editor actually helped me, really helped me. Because that was the year when I broke out of Goa and I became known nationally, not only through this Rajiv Gandhi incident, but also through the release of Jalwa, and through another one or two incidents which happened exactly in that year.
Thank you so much for talking to us today. It's been very inspiring talking to you, and also just like your autobiography. So many stories that you shared there and in the conversation today.
Thank you so much.
It's been lovely, lovely chatting with you. Thank you so much, Remo.
All the pleasure's all mine.
Time for a short break, but I promise to take you to a fun place right after. Stay with us. Welcome back. Modesh World, the indoor entertainment park that brings joy and delight to the city every summer, opened its doors and will run throughout until the end of August. With over 350 attractions spread over an area of about 30,000 square meters, Modesh World is all set to welcome around 200,000 visitors this year, providing families and children with multiple ways to stay happy and engaged during the school holidays. Come explore this fun destination with me. Modesh World is a seasonal event held between mid-July to August end, which houses rides, games and shows for children. It is one of the most popular and the largest indoor edutainment destinations in the region. Visitors can expect a vibrant and exciting atmosphere at Modesh World with plenty of activities to keep everyone entertained. It is a free-to-enter destination, making it accessible for families. Families can enjoy engaging games, immersive and themed experiences, exclusive rides, arcade games, adventure activities and much more. In 2023, Modesh and Dana will be featured with lots of fun and entertainment for kids. Overall, Modesh World offers a modish and enjoyable experience for families in Dubai with a wide range of activities and entertainment options to choose from. It is considered one of the best activities for kids in Dubai and attracts a large number of visitors with around 200,000 people attending the facility during the Dubai Summer Surprises season.
Hello everyone, I am Mr. Looney from Apollonia World. We are Apollonia World Pediatric Dental Clinic. So we are here in Modesh activities because we do believe that all the children has the right to get a good and healthy smile. So we are here doing our dental checkup for all these kids for free because as we said, we do believe that all kids has the right to get a healthy oral health. Thank you very much.
In this episode, we covered so many stories, right from 90s musical icons to ways you can have fun during the scorching summers in Dubai. Hope you enjoyed it and will join us back next Sunday for yet another exciting episode. Until then, if you miss us, you can check our socials and share your valuable feedback with us. Take care and keep that smile locked in until we meet again.